guys, so welcome back to Lex Reads. So in today's video, I wanted to do a genre spotlight, and that genre is Caribbean authors. When I did my author spotlight of Diane McKinney Westone, which I'll put down below, I saw a comment from one of you guys, and you asked about Caribbean authors. Is there any recommendations? I have a love for Caribbean authors, just like African authors, where they can tell a story. Caribbean authors are the exact same. So I have a good amount of recommendations. Before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, so hands down, my favorite Caribbean author is Edwidge Danticat. She is from Haiti. I used to do a author project where I would read three authors' whole fictional catalog, and one year I did her, and y'all, oh, her books are amazing. She is also a GOAT because she does adult fiction, she does YA, middle grade. All her books are different. So yeah, Edwidge Danticat is one of my favorites. Now, the first book I read of hers actually was her debut, and it was an Oprah Book Club back in the, I want to, was it early 2000s? No, in the 90s. It's about a young girl. She is living with her grandmother in Haiti. Her grandmother's like, I think it's time for you to live with your mother in the States, I believe New York City. And she knows of her mother, but she hasn't been raised so far. And I think she's like 12 years old. So she goes to America, and you see the ins and outs of their relationship. And there is a secret that her mom is harboring. Y'all, it's real deep. Also has that secret, lies, deceptions. I love stories like that. If you're a person that loves those kind of stories where, it's a lot of it, where a lot of family covers up, things and sweeps it under the rug and things get revealed, you will like this book. Another book that I love by her and I would recommend is her collection of short stories. This is a recent collection of short stories. This actually was a Reese book club pick, and it's called Everything Inside. And there is, let me see how many stories. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 stories. And I believe, what's the one I love? I think is it Sunrise, Sunset? There's one story in here where you have a mother and a daughter. The daughter is having her first child, and it looks like she kind of goes through a little bit of postpartum depression. And her mother is also dealing with Alzheimer's, and she's, taking care of her mother. And you can imagine someone with Alzheimer's, their mind goes back to childlike. And you got a new baby in the house. And yeah, I don't want to give it away. But sometimes she thinks that baby is a doll. Y'all, it was so deep. It was so good. One of her short story collections, Crit Crat. This is another one that is really good. I would say if you don't know where to start with Caribbean authors, I would say Edwidge Danticat. That's where I started, and then after that, I just gradually started reading, more and more, from that genre. But her writing is amazing, and she is an OG because she's been writing since the 90s. Next is Jamaica Kincaid. You have to mention Jamaica Kincaid. She is one of the prominent best Caribbean literature. If you look up Caribbean authors, you're always going to see Jamaica Kincaid's books. I think I read by her actually was Annie John. And this is like a coming of age story. And you basically see how Annie John just grows up in Antigua, and really loved it. If you like coming of age stories, this is one that you would like. Also, another thing I would notice about Jamaica Kincaid's writings, her books are very, very short, but they hit you with a punch. This book, for example, is only what, 140 something pages. Another book that she's known for, I haven't read this yet, but it's Lucy. And as you can see, it is very thin. This I also read, At the Bottom of the River. This is a collection of short stories. The last book I have by her, but I have not read, it's called Mr. Porter. And a lot of her books, they're set in Antigua. So next is Nicole Dennis-Benn, Patsy. Now this is her second book. I do have her first book. What is it called? Here Comes the Sun, which I do want to read that. But I wanted to read this book after I saw Peta from Comfy Cozy Up, which Peta, she's Jamaican. I'll put her channel below. If you are looking for any recommendations that are Caribbean authors, you need to watch her. All these books I got because of her. She knows her literature, she knows her people. But she did a vlog on this when this book first came out, and oh, she sold me, y'all. She sold me. Oh, okay. So you have Patsy. Patsy lives in Jamaica. She is going to be going to the United States because she can't take Jamaica. She cannot. She wants a better life. But she has a young child named True. And True is very smart. She's inquisitive. And her mom makes her these promises, I'm gonna come back and da 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 da. She had no intention of coming back. That's not a spoiler. So she get to New York, and it is hard. It is very hard because she's undocumented. So she can't get, a bank account. She's working under the table. Girl, it's a lot. And she has her childhood friend who, moved to the United States, but she's married. I think she's getting ready to have a baby. And her life is different. And I think she was thinking, well, we knew each other, growing up and all of that. But it's like, girl, y'all ain't grown up. This woman is a married woman. You know what I mean? So things change. So she get there and just struggle. So you see her perspective, but then you see True's perspective, and True like, I have a feeling my mama not coming back. And she ends up moving with her father and his wife, and they have children. And that stepmama, like, she don't really feel True. She don't. But she like, well, that's my husband's child, so yeah. And you just see how she is growing up, because when we meet her, she's like a little girl. I want to say maybe about 7 or something like that. And you see her all the way through high school. And yeah. Although for me, what she did, in my opinion, was wrong about just leaving that child like that. But at the same time, I think, well, girl, you don't have no kids, so you don't know what you might have done. I'm talking to myself. But I still wanted Patsy to win, even though some of the decisions that she made, I didn't necessarily agree with, but I'm not in her shoes. So, you know what I mean? I'm kind of contradicting myself, but I still wanted her to win, because she just was such on the struggle bus, y'all. Oh, and can you imagine, being an immigrant? And yeah, it's hard. So this book is a conversational piece. It will have you thinking. You won't forget Patsy. You won't forget True. Nicole Dennis-Benn can write. I need to read her first book. I have it. Hey, next, let's get into some older authors. So I know I like them unsung authors. I like the authors that no one really talks about because those be the hidden gems. They'd be real good. So next is Joan Riley, The Unbelonging. Young girl, she lives in Kingston, Jamaica, but she moves to Britain because her father is like, you need to come there, right? He's horrible. He is so mean. He beat that girl. I mean, a lot of stuff goes on, right? And then it doesn't help that she goes to school with all these white, kids, and they just torture her, with her skin color and her hair and all of that. But the girl is smart as a whip. You hear me? And you just see how her life unfolds. And the last book is Me Dying Trial by Patricia Powell. And I believe this is written in what, the 90s, I want to say, or early 2000s. This one, y'all, you got a school teacher. She's married and she got children. She is just so over that marriage, y'all. Oh, it's so unfulfilling. She got all them kids. She like resists like the cultural expectations of like being a mom and a wife. She just like she hates that, right? But then she eventually relocates to Connecticut. You see how her life goes there. This book, it talks about religion, it talks about sexuality, it talks about marriage, it talks about abuse. So many layers in this book. This is also a conversational piece. So yeah, guys, that is it when it comes to my Caribbean authors recommendations. They, again, are such amazing storytellers. So yeah, guys, that's all I have for you, and I'll be back with more Black books. Bye.